conflicting views, I think, from some Arsenal fans this evening, particularly when it comes to Ethan Nwaneri. We spoke about the 15-year-old who'd been given his debut in the Premier League this weekend, whether it was the right time to do so. Danny Murphy, a little bit earlier on, I think, agreed with you, Danny Mills, that maybe it was a bit too soon. One Arsenal fan here who's tweeted in, no name, it says, if Pep or Klopp did what Arteta did with that kid, then there would be nothing but praise. But because it's Arsenal, you have to make it a negative.
I disagree. That's from
Wayne.
I completely disagree with that. Look at what Pep did with Foden. Waited and waited and waited. Foden is one of the best talents we've ever seen. Didn't give him too much game time, put him on the bench, kept him in the first team. He was on the bench. He kept coming on, coming off. Is this going to happen at Arsenal? No, is the answer. He's not going to be involved every single week. I'd be surprised if he even gets on the pitch again this season.
Okay, and this is from Yaz, an Arsenal fan, who says, playing a 15-year-old for a minute of a game whilst it was meaningless at that time is nothing but Arteta satisfying his big ego. Which young academy player has he brought into the team in the last 3 years that he's been in charge? He's about to finish the biggest talent in the team in the shape of Emil Smith-Rowe. Okay, all right, listen, those are very conflicting views. Your views on 03717 223344. Straight to your calls. Alex is an Arsenal fan. Good evening, Alex.
Good evening, guys. Yeah,
Good evening.
Thanks for getting me on.
How are you feeling about the 15-year-old, but also your title chances?
Well, let's go on to the title chances first, guys. It's still too early in the season for me for title challenges. Remember Chelsea last season? I think they fell away after November. People were saying that they might have a really good chance of winning the league. It's still too early for me. We need City to slip up. People are forgetting how unpredictable this season really is. It's the most competitive Premier League season I can recall. I mean, 6 into 4 won't go this season. No one's talking enough about Liverpool or Chelsea having a resurgence, perhaps, because they're still very good sides. I also think it might depend on what happens to Jesus and Zinchenko. Jesus has been really key for us. I'd like to see how we cope without him. I'd say he's probably been our most key player, and Zinchenko has been brilliant. We are top 4 contenders, definitely, but that's as far as I take it in regards, at the moment, to our potential title challenge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it, Alex. Good balanced view. I agree. I think top 4 would be a fantastic season for Arsenal. Get into the top 4 and the Champions League via that route, and a decent run in the Europa League as well. I just think to go on from this stage, there's still 10-1 for a reason. Man City are big odds on at this stage to win the title. It's not very often, and people go Leicester, but it's not very often the bookies get it wrong.
What do you think about your young debutant then, Alex?
The young debutant, I kind of got it and I didn't. Again, I'm going to try and be balanced with this one as well. If he's that good, I get it. And I also understand the Foden comparison that Danny just made as well. But I think Foden was given his start when he was 17 and not 15. There's part of me that still thinks 15 is a bit too young. And I think also someone earlier in the show made a really good point about how, the ramifications now in football are so great outside of the game. They're greater than they've ever been because with the dawn of social media and the pressures and everything. I wonder how that guy's going to cope getting onto his school bus or his Instagram now. All of a sudden, it's it's rocketed by however many thousand. So there are
can't even have Instagram, can he? Don't you have to? I don't know how old you have to be.
Yeah, I think he can.
I think he can. But it's the other ramifications outside football that put pressures on players that I do wonder about. And I wonder what Arteta was trying to do at that time. Because
and also, Alex, what about those other young under 21 players that I talked about that are second in the league at the moment, playing particularly well?
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. So they're going to be looking down, thinking, "Well, hang on a minute, what about me?" Because everyone in a team is always going to be looking at one another, saying, "Well, I think I'm probably slightly better than him, and I should be in there ahead of him." No matter what anyone says, those thoughts do go through players' heads. I know. I'm a player myself. I play at a fairly good level myself, and I just think I'd like to speak to Arteta and say, if I could, and say, what was your reason for playing the 15-year-old at that time, giving him what I think 3 or 4 minutes? What were you really trying to achieve with that?
Okay,
that would be my question.
Yeah, absolutely, Alex. Listen, appreciate your call on talkSPORT this evening. Let's get straight to another Arsenal fan. James, good evening. Your views on a title challenge?
Hi guys, you all right?
Very well.
Good, thanks.
You?
Yeah, good. I'm actually very optimistic about it. My main point being that you don't have to win every single game 10 or 11-0 to win the league. There's no doubt how good Haaland is and how many goals he's going to score. that as long as we keep beating teams, then at the very least, there's reason to be optimistic there.
I think you've got a challenge, and you've got a. But I think it's an outside chance. I think you'll lose more than 3 games between now and the end of the season.
Are Arsenal good enough to win the Premier League?
With a team that
it's a possibility.
It's possible, but it's an outside possibility. I think you'll lose more than 3 games between now and the end of the season, and that means you won't win the league.
But I also don't think that City are going to win every single game. I think at times they look a little bit suspect at the back.
Yeah.
But they have for the last 3 years.
I don't know. When I saw Nathan Ake at the beginning of the season, I kind of thought, that I know he's didn't play the last game, but that was just suspect to me for sure. And when you watch Arsenal this year, the difference that hasn't been there before is every player plays for each other right up to the 90th minute. It's an unreal team at the moment.
James, appreciate your call on talkSPORT this evening and tend to agree with you. There are weaknesses with Manchester City. Ederson hasn't had a great start to the season.
They've won 4 out of 5 Premier Leagues.
What do you mean?
They've had weaknesses every single season.
No, but this season, I'm just saying.
Every last year they won it with no striker.
Man City could easily lose 4 or 5 games this season.
Unlikely,
but they easily could.
Unlikely.
They also easily
Not
could.
Easily, no.
Yeah, they could.
won't easily lose.
Yeah, they could.
Go through the history.
Because if you look at the goals that they've conceded, their results
history.
so far this season, and the goals that they've conceded, they've needed the likes of Haaland to get them out of trouble.
What they do.
And as was pointed out earlier, if he's not fit, they don't have that. And all I'm saying is that defence isn't keeping clean sheets every game.
Did they have Haaland last year?
They're not. But did
they have Haaland last year?
All I'm saying is Manchester City
is their defence better this year?
Are not built on a great defence. They're built on a great attack. And if it doesn't click going forward, and it might not in every game, there's a chance.
They didn't have a centre forward last year.
03717
Did they win the league?
223344. This is talkSPORT.